This is Guru Focus First Look, your morning market brief for Thursday, July 2. Here are the stories driving markets today. Bending Spoon surged nearly 40% on its first day of trading, closing at $40.50 and valuing the Milan-based technology company at $25.7 billion after a $1.68 billion initial public offering. The firm's debut follows strong investor demand for its mobile app portfolio and marks one of Europe's largest tech IPOs of the year. Plus, Alphabet must pay a €4.1 billion fine, or $4.67 billion, after Europe's highest court upheld penalties for using Android to stifle competition. The decision ends years of litigation over mobile market dominance and cements the European Union's largest ever antitrust penalty.
U.S. stock futures are mixed ahead of the June jobs report, as Dow, S&P 500, and Nasdaq futures trade choppy. Tech stocks remain under pressure following a steep sell-off in global semiconductor shares. Economists expect the June jobs report to show around 115,000 new jobs and a steady 4.3% unemployment rate, with wage growth lagging inflation. Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix led a rout in global tech shares, following over 9% and 14% respectively. The declines dragged South Korea's Kospi index lower, as volatility in the artificial intelligence chip sector and weakness in U.S. tech stocks spread across Asian markets. Turning to monetary policy, Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh signaled a new data-driven approach, stating the central bank will use alternative, real-time data sources to guide decisions. Warsh acknowledged that inflation remains elevated despite some recent easing.
The Japanese yen hit its lowest level against the U.S. dollar since 1986, as the Bank of Japan's low interest rates contrast with a hawkish Federal Reserve and a strong U.S. currency. The move has intensified global market volatility. Oil prices fell for a fourth consecutive week, with Brent crude dropping below $71 and West Texas Intermediate to $68 per barrel. Markets responded to progress in U.S.-Iran negotiations in Qatar, which raised hopes for increased supply. The Securities and Exchange Commission is investigating allegations that unknown traders made $100 million on options tied to Futu and Tiger brokers ahead of a Chinese regulatory crackdown. Accounts have been frozen as authorities probe potential insider trading. OpenAI is reportedly in discussions to give the U.S. government a 5% equity stake as part of a proposed National Artificial Intelligence Wealth Fund. The move aims to distribute future AI-driven gains more broadly across the U.S. economy.
Anthropic has received U.S. government clearance to globally launch its latest Claude AI models, Fable 5 and Mythos 5, after expanding safety and security partnerships to address national security concerns. Coupang faces scrutiny in South Korea after a U.S. House report alleged the company was unfairly targeted by regulators, including an unprecedented covert laptop recovery operation and heavy fines following a data breach. Major U.S. retailers, including Amazon, Best Buy, and Target, are holding significant sales events for the 4th of July holiday week, with strong discounts in technology, fashion, home, and travel categories. U.S. airlines are carrying more than 72 million passengers over the July 4th weekend, setting new records and testing airport capacity. The surge has prompted calls for further modernization of air traffic control systems. AAA projects more than 72 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles during the Independence Day holiday, with both car and air travel at or near all-time highs, despite higher fuel prices.
Medicare has launched a temporary program offering select GLP-1 weight loss drugs including Wegovy, Zepbound, and Foundayo to qualified older adults for $50 a month, expanding access while collecting data on long-term impacts. That's your market brief. And that's your Guru Focus brief. We'll be back with your next market update. Thanks for listening.